Today we're going to be playing the ultimate Zahir mutation deck. This is a unique deck that has the potential to dominate the ladder. Let's immediately dive in. With a first glance, this deck doesn't really look scary, right? But all of those relatively weak cards are going to come in very handy when we pair them up with a Wayward Hat to get a ton of mutations. The mutations are some very cheap spells that increase the rank of the spells in your hand where you play them. But their mana cost remains the same, so we can play some very expensive spells for just a few mana. With the ultimate goal of playing this card, the Hollow Form, for 1 or 2 mana, and that's going to give us so much tempo and so much value on the board to make sure that we win the game. We actually survive to pull off this combo. We have a lot of nature control cards that even after the nerfs remain very strong. We have the Cornered Howler, we have a couple of Crawling Madness, which is also going to synergize great with a Wayward Hat. We have Zahir, who is going to sacrifice a bit of health, but is also going to give us so much tempo and board control and presence. Even after the nerfs, Regression is still a very strong card. Let's immediately try this deck out in the mythic rank to see how well it performs. This time we're playing against the War Domain. It's a Valkyrie for my opponent, and I think, you know what, I'm going to trade that immediately using my Raid Swarm. Yep, that's a strong Tavern Brawler for my opponent to clear my creature, but you know what? I think I can throw Zahir down on the board now to gain some tempo, and that is going to be a very sticky creature for my opponent to get rid of. That's a Blade of Sticks for my opponent. They're going to clear my board again. I have a Mire Walker here, and I'm going to Dread Touch the Mire Walker, and that's going to also bring Zahir back. Let's force my opponent to trade. We're just going for tempo plays at the moment. My opponent is going to trade with their Relic and then use their God Power. And then they even have a Wood Catherine, but still it's not the end of the world, because not only can we clear the board now, we are also going to summon Zahir back as soon as I use my God Power and I play Crawling Madness. We're going to clear the board. Zahir is definitely coming back, and I can even just attack this guy, and yep, just ending my turn. Guys, so far we're just controlling the game. I can play the Trial Begins on the next turn to draw my Wayward Hat and play it along with the best friends. My opponent is going to actually... Wait, what? Are you going to attack Zahir again? That is so much tempo for us. We're trading our health points, but Zahir is coming back every turn, and that is really strong. Oh, we have another best friends. Okay, let me just start with the Trial Begins here. I think I'm going to get the Wayward Hat, in all honesty, and I'm going to play that and follow up with best friends. Then I am just going to attack this and deal 1 more damage to my opponent, and we're controlling the board against one of the decks that is very difficult to do that against. Zahir is coming back again. That's an oddie for my opponent, but still it's not looking too bad for us. Oh, we have another Wayward Hat. That's huge, actually. Okay, first let me try to attack here. Oh, that's gonna miss. That is a little unlucky. So in all honesty, let me just play the Wayward Hat again. Then I am going to follow up with Best Friends. That is going to give me another couple of mutations. I am actually going to trade that creature with Zahir. Then I am going to attack my opponent directly. And then I am going to get the Trial Begins and start playing my mutations. That's not a very good spell. Wildfire is actually quite good here, but I still think I'm going to play towards my mana curve. Opalized Roots doesn't help me. Great Ice's Blessing is huge, but still, let's try to get a stronger spell. That's a Swallow Hole. Yep, my opponent is just going to give up. They realize that they can no longer win the game, because on the next turn, guys, the Hollow Form was coming. This time we're playing against the Nature Domain, so let me just start with my Lootable Corpse. That's an Encumbered Looter for my opponent, which tells me that we are probably playing against a Food Chain deck. Let's see how this matchup is going to go. My opponent is just going to trade my Lootable Corpse. That's... Oh, we get the Wayward Hat. That's huge. And they're going to play their Crawling Madness, which is kind of okay, honestly. I have an Underbrush Boar here, and I think I'm also going to throw the Expectant Chicken down on the board, because on the next turn I can play my Wayward Hat and follow up with Crawling Madness. My opponent is at 3 mana now. They're going to attack me directly. Oh, and the Dread Deer, okay, that makes sense. But we get Zahir back, and that's absolutely awesome. And then you know what, I am actually going to play my Wayward Hat, and I will follow up with Crawling Madness to get, I think, 4 mutations back, right? Yeah, sounds about right. While we still maintain... Oh wait, my opponent is going to concede! Wow, I guess that's a win. We're playing against the War Domain again. And this time, I actually have my Wayward Hat already. My opponent is going to play a couple of creatures on the board. I think I'm just going to start with my Underbrush Boar here and force them to use 1 mana on the next turn to clear that. We get a bit unlucky with where this attacks, but not the end of the world. A Path of War for my opponent, wow. That card got buffed very recently, and the Fracture as planned. Yep, we have another Crawling Madness. So honestly, I think I'm just going to start with my God Power here And on the next turn, I can probably play the Wayward Hat and follow up with a Crawling Madness without retouching it, sadly. Oh, what is that? That is a very weird and strong creature, actually. Oh, we have the Cornered Howler. That's a great turn here, so let me just trade. And that's it for now. It's a very strong creature for my opponent. And you know what? I think I am actually going to play my combo now. I'm just going to play Best Friends to summon an Eagle, and then it is time for me to follow up with a Crawling Madness. Even though that is going to make sure that this creature survives, we're still going to get 6 mutations now in my hand, which is going to be so cool. Check it out, guys. We are just getting all those mutations, and we still have a decent board, which my opponent can't very effectively clear. Am I going to overdraw on the next turn? Yep, I will, but that's kinda okay. That's a very strong creature for my opponent, but that means that my ants are going to survive. So, how do we play this? I might even just play another Crawling Madness to just clear everything. And you know what, guys? I think that the Wayward Hat has served its purpose. We have enough spells now, so I can just do that, in all honesty. And that's going to give me 6 damage basically, and that's going to be enough to clear the board. Let me also just use my God Power here, and that's going to be it for now. We have so many mutations, but I still need to find a few more spells. My opponent is basically going to clear the board now. We have a Fire Wine, that's actually really cool. So, mutation number 1, Frenzied Ritual, this doesn't help me now. Mutation number 2, Swelling Boon, nope. I don't want you either. Mutation number 3, we have the Hand. It's going to actually come in handy in a little bit, but here is my Seasonal Rebirth and the Hollow Form. I am even going to get the Lootable Corpse on this turn, and even play another mutation probably. That's going to be it. Because on the next turn I can use my God Power and follow up with a Lootable Corpse and Hollow Form. Oh, that's going to be so strong, however, guys. Oh wow, can we actually lose this game? It looks like it. Oh, that's actually huge. Yeah, actually this is amazing. Because I can play this chicken, then I can follow up... Oh, but this can't attack, right? Then I can follow up with a Lootable Corpse, then I am going to use my God Power, and then I'm going to follow up with Hollow Form number 1 to actually buff up all of those creatures, and I can even attack here, and here, and I'm going to clear you as well. And we have a very strong egg now that doesn't really do much. That's a fracture, which means that my chicken is going to go down. That's a grand haul for my opponent, actually. So they are going to trade. But we are still in a very good spot, I think. Another Path of War for my opponent. Let's see what we're going to draw now. Oh, I have a Rage. Oh, that's so perfect. Because I can just play my Rage Swarm here. That is going to summon 2 more ants for me, which means that I can play immediately another Hollow Form. Now I have a... Oh, what are those creatures that we have? I can trade both this and you. And guys, I might even not be greedy here, and I'm going to attack this creature to make sure that my opponent can't play Soul Survivor to clear the board. That's a very strong Blitz creature for my opponent. They're going to win the Tempt Fate, but I think it doesn't really matter too much. It's just going to be a trade, and then Oddi. So let me see how we deal with that. I think I'm going to start with the Ambitious Adventurer now. That's going to give me Lash Out. I think I'm going to follow up with Mutation here. I don't really want to keep those. Let's see what kind of spells. Canopy Barrage is going to be so huge. Do I just play that now, actually? Yeah, I think I will. And then I'm going to play my other mutation. We have a Great Ice Blessing that is so good. I am going to make a trade happen, and then I am dealing 10 more damage to my opponent. And that's going to be it for now. My opponent is at 7 mana now. They're going to make... We are very ahead. Oh, a Fertris Fury as well. I think I'm going to start with this to immediately get those creatures back in my hand. We have another very useless egg though. Let me just follow up with you to draw another card. I can just play Fertris Fury to clear all of those creatures. If this doesn't miss, okay, that's going to be good. And then I am dealing 10 more damage to my opponent again. And yeah, that's it for now. An incoming raid that is going to destroy my Lootable Corpse. We have Regression as well. Oh, the Leyline Feeder is actually really cool here. Let me just deal 1 damage to my opponent, then I can follow up with the Leyline Feeder to get a couple of mutations in my hand. And you know what, guys, I am even going to play those mutations now. Let's see what we're going to get. We have a Jump On that's going to come in handy in a little bit. Spring's Harvest as well. I might just play that now that I think about it. That's cool. And Divine Bound Jotun as well. I think we're in a really good spot. Let me throw my Badger down, and that should be it. Let's see what my opponent has to say about all of that. Trial begins. They're going to draw a card, but they only have 5 mana left now. And my opponent is even going to actually make a trade happen. It's gonna be really strong. But in all honesty, I can just play my Jotun here to clear that creature for my opponent. And I think that this is practically game over, because I can just play Lightning Strike here to clear that creature for my opponent, and then follow up with Jump On to find more than lethal, and my Jotun is going to attack my opponent for 13 damage, to just win the game. That's a really strong deck. This time we're playing against the Death Domain. It's actually an Anubian deck. My Boar is going to immediately clear my opponent's Priestess. I have a Mire Walker here, that's going to be such a good turn. Draw that. We actually maintain control of the board. My opponent is at 4 mana now, and they're going to play a Curse of Greed Empowered. That's actually strong. We have a Fairtree's Fury, not going to do anything about that right now. Let me just continue throwing creatures on the board. That's a Pharaoh's Heirloom for my opponent. And the Ragnarok as well, wow. They're also going to throw a Priestess down on the board. That's going to deal quite a bit of damage to our face. We are now at 20 health actually, that's crazy. I will actually try to trade those. We're going to miss, that's a little sad. Okay, that's going to actually go where it should go. Then I can follow up with a Wayward Hat and then play Fairtree's Fury to clear that creature and summon 3 Frosty Fruit. And that is immediately going to give me 3 mutations back, so it's not looking too bad yet. Let's see if my opponent can clear that hat. Yep, they can, they have a Blight Bomb, and they also have a Blackfire Fledgling, but that's okay. And now we have a difficult decision to make. Do I just start playing the mutations, even though I only have 3? I think that is actually the best play here. Let me just start with mutation number 1. We're going to get a Lash Out, we don't really need that. We don't really need the Hunt either, so mutation number 2, a Poison Dart as well. Swallow Whole is kind of okay. I think I'm going to get mutation number 3. We have a oh, that's actually cool. And you know what, guys? I'm even going to play the Great Ice Blessing here, because that's going to give me 3 mana back. Oh, this goes 2 mana? Wait, what the heck? But regardless, I can just attack my opponent here, then I can trade this, and I can even throw another Frosty Fruit down on the board, and play the Swashbuckler as well, because on the next turn, I really want to play Hollow Form, and if I already have 3 creatures down on the board, that's going to be so much damage. Actually, that's going to be lethal. If my opponent doesn't manage to clear those, we can realistically win the game right now. Oh no, but they do have a Pharaoh's Heirloom, that's quite strong. They are going to trade that, that's okay though. And then for the 2 mana that they have left, they are going to play Untold Greed to draw a couple of cards. That's also okay. But guys, what we can do immediately is play Hollow Form, just for 5 mana. That is going to buff our creatures up by quite a bit. I can even throw my chicken down on the board, clear that, and then I can immediately deal so much damage to my opponent's face. And yeah, that should be it for now. Unless my opponent can pull a one-hit KO for the 16 health that we have left, I think this game is ours. Land of the Dead, is that going to be enough, actually? Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. They have a couple of priestesses. Oh my god, I think it's enough. This is going to be so much damage. Guys, I think we lost the game. What? What a combo. These are 4 damage each, so wait. Oh my god. Oh my god, stop! Let me leave. No, wait, we're still alive. Then they can just give burn to one of those. But no, I think we're alive. I think we're in the safe zone. I think the game is ours. It's just going to be 5 more damage to our face. And we're going to get Fire Wine, which is going to secure the game with a 100% chance, because otherwise we had a chance to lose now, actually. So Fire Wine, and then I can just deal 8 damage to my opponent directly without risking anything. And just like that, we win against another meta deck. I ended up playing 4 games today with this deck, and I won all 4 of them. We did really well against some aggro decks. Honestly, I think that this variation of the nature domain has a ton of board control and board presence, especially Zahir. Even though he seems like a very weird card, the presence that he gives you on the board is very difficult to match, especially in the early turns of the game. Guys, this is going to be it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like, don't forget to subscribe, because I upload Gods Unchained content like this every single day. Finally, don't forget to drop a comment immediately, because that is going to automatically enter you into my weekly giveaways. That's all you need to do, and if you win, I'm just going to notify you in the comment that you won with. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow with a brand new deck idea. Enjoy!